Hello everyone, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you react, like, comment? Awesome. Welcome guys. I'm super excited to have everyone on this call. And so without much ado, we're going to get started. So this representative from various teams for this hackathon, and they're going to be learning stuff that are very worthwhile, how to go from idea to MVP, so they can apply this to their various hackathon teams and build viable products. And so I know today is a Saturday, most persons are busy, but I'm not going to waste much of our time. And so I'm just going to go straight and introduce our speaker, and he's going to take it up from there. This call will be recorded and uploaded on our YouTube channel. So for those that are not here, they're going to watch it and gain knowledge. And so my name is Joseph. I am part of the WD Africa team. Um, and our speaker this morning is someone that has a vast wealth of knowledge. When I mean vast, I mean he is currently the vice president of product at Kowri, which is a fintech company in Ghana. So we're bringing him all the way from Ghana. At Kowri, he drives product strategy and innovation, and he currently leads the company's evolution into an AI native platform, such as the adoption of MCP for LLM-powered product. So he has very good experience when it comes to building with AI. And previously, he co-founded several startups. Um, and he also serves as CEO of Joovlin, a venture-based startup recognized globally with the Inclusive Fintech 50 Award and Seedstar. So Seedstar is a VC firm known all over the world. Um, his career reflects a consistent focus on innovation, inclusion, and scaling technology across Africa. And beyond these roles, he is committed to ecosystem building, and that's why he agreed to speak at this workshop today. Tech advocacy, mentoring people, and also on hackathons and facilitating sessions for young techies. So, without much ado, can we welcome Mr. Kingsley Nwose as he takes his first session this morning? Mr. Kingsley, can you take over,
Yeah,
please?
hello. Thank you, Joseph. Hello. Am I audible? Can you guys see my face? Yeah, great, great. Thank you, Joseph, for the wonderful intro. I didn't know I have achieved all of that until you said it. So thank you so much. Yeah, I'm happy to be here with you today. And let me see. Let me share my screen, please. Hold on. Okay, I need you guys to give me the permit to share my screen, please. Joseph, hello. Please, I need access to be able to share my screen. Can somebody hear me, please?
Oh, hello, Kingsley. Let me try to help you.
Right, great.
Let me try to help you to get to share your screen. Sorry. Okay, Mr. Kingsley, can you try now?
So he is coming this afternoon as a co-founder of
Still not allowed.
Should be working now.
Yeah, I just tried. Maybe I should drop out of the call and try to connect again. Will that help?
Sorry, come again.
I was asking, or should I drop out of the call and connect again? Maybe that will help.
Okay, just try now. I updated your settings again, but try now. If it's
I still have no access. Okay, I think I can do that now.
Awesome. Yeah, I can see you sharing now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Sorry for the small technical issues. Please, I'll have to put off my camera if it's still on. I think it's not on, so that I can limit the use of the internet to the very necessary things. So you guys should pardon me. You might not be seeing my face all the time, but of course, I'm always with you. You hear me. Yeah, so my screen is visible, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right, great. Thank you guys for having me here. First of all, let me thank the World Disability Day Africa for giving me the opportunity to speak with these wonderful people. And to all you participants that are here, I say a very big thank you for coming. And I welcome you to the celebration of the World Disability Day 2025. My name is Kingsley Nwose, as you have been told, and I'm a product manager currently working as a vice president of product at Seven Ghana Limited, or Kowri. You can see in some places my company is written as Seven, and some places it's Kowri. That's because Seven is the mother company and Kowri is the flagship product of Seven. Just like you say Meta is the owner of Facebook, right? So when you say I work at Kowri, you're correct. If you say I work at Seven, you are also correct. Now, that out of the way, we are here to talk about AI integrated product strategy from idea to MVP roadmap. Now, today, we will learn how to structure MVPs that thoughtfully integrate AI into the roadmap. Like they all say, everywhere you go, AI is changing products and people are building things differently. Yeah, it is. And a lot of changes has happened within the last few years, starting from the innovation released by OpenAI around 2022, I think November 2022. Generative AI gave AI a new face. Of course, before then there has been AI, but not exactly how it's being used now. Then you could give it data to process and stuff like that. But with the new innovation that came around that 2022, you could now get AI to actually do things itself. It's not just waiting for you to give it numbers to calculate, but you can ask it questions and it generates answers, just like you ask a human being question and then they talk to you. Now, this has opened a new frontier of opportunities. So with the innovations or successes that follow, a lot of changes were made to how things are being done. Some developers these days don't even write codes anymore. They just feed it to AI agents and then it writes all their codes, they debug it, and even gets AI to also do the debugging. So things have changed very much. Things have really changed. But then now there is new power, new speed, and new capabilities. But of course, the fundamentals stays the same when it comes to coming up with ideas and building products. So we believe that the winners will be those who combine real user needs, usability, and AI intelligently. When I say winners, I'm not talking about the hackathon. I'm not talking about the World Disability Day conference. I'm talking about winners in the tech world, winners in the new world that we are living in with this new AI innovation. Historically, how different founders have built stuff. Typically, you will find founders of companies, basically tech companies or digital product companies. Of course, not necessarily only digital products, but here we are looking more heavily on digital products. So you will see me focusing on that. But basically, founders are built in two ways. Some are solution first. They build something, then find problems that thing solves. And then some others, they look for problems, identify a pain point, and then build a solution to solve that problem. Here are some successful companies that have been solution first in the past. A company like Slack, they started as a gaming company. They built a chat tool to be using within their organization, communicating internally. And then eventually, the real product, which is a gaming solution, didn't work out. And they found out that, wow, this solution they built to communicate with themselves is even being used by other people, and it has way more applicability than they would have ever thought. So they began to look at it as a solution to a problem that people have been facing within organizations. Of course, at the initial stage, they built it to solve their own internal communication problems, but they did not go through the startup building process where you have to ideate, find problems, and all of that. They just built it as a side project. So it was a solution they built and then found a problem to solve with it later. The same thing with Twitter or X. Jack Dorsey was working with a podcast company, I think it's Audio, back in the days. And then he built a micro messaging solution where they just used to send message with themselves. And then eventually, Audio failed, and the founders acquired the assets of Audio, and then including Twitter. And then Jack Dorsey started building Twitter out as a solution to micro messaging across the world. But then he just built it as a solution for them to use internally. YouTube was a dating concept that was being built. It wasn't a video sharing app, but it was a video dating app. The concept that they were trying was a video dating app. But eventually, they came up, I think, after the Super Bowl incidents where Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake had an incident. He was looking for the videos online. There was nowhere to see it, and came to the founder that, look, we can turn this dating solution into a solution for people to share their videos. And that was how the real YouTube as we know it today was born. Apple is notorious to be known to build things that's without even going out to look for people who use them. Steve Jobs will say something like, I'll build it. When it enters your hand, you will love it and you will use it. And he has kept to that concept. He keeps building stuff, and he has made a lot of it. Of course, he also lost a lot in the process. But yet, all these solutions and a lot more, of course, were solution-first companies. Now, here are some problem-first companies like Airbnb. It's a $100 billion company that was incubated by Y Combinator. And then they had a problem. The founders were designers who studied in Europe. Some of their fellow designers were coming to their states to do a conference, and then hotels were scarce, nowhere. So they built a site quickly and then rented their airbeds out to some of the people. And then from there, it hit them. This problem, I think people want to experience this. People want to experience that. They did the analysis and then they started building it into a company. For Uber, the founder, Kalanick, I think he was stranded in Paris during the Christmas, New Year Eve. At one time, he couldn't find taxis, and then he decided that they should also solve this problem by building ride-hailing, ride-sharing solution. Dropbox, it was hard for people to find big places to save big files. You could easily send small files, 2 megabytes, 3 megabytes, but when you have 2 gigabyte file, well, where do you save it? How do you send it? So they saw that problem and then they tried to solve it. Now we have all the Google Drives and different kind of drive from different giants, but Dropbox thought of it first and tried to solve the problem. Stripe also saw that people couldn't pay online, and then they built Stripe, which is similar to Paystack, Flutterwave, or exactly what Kowri is doing, collecting and disbursing payment for businesses. So yeah, those are some of the problem first and solution first companies. Now, why problem first is the default path? Why does people preach that you build a problem first solution? That's because it's less expensive. It follows a scientific method of validation that we can all relate with. We can see what you did. We can see the process with which you went out, studied the problem, identified the problems, and then refined it and start building. We can see that. So it's easier for anybody to trust in that your method. Like investors who will give you money, they will likely want to see how you went about building this. Did you see users who need this? Is there a pain point you're solving? That is what you look at when you are building with problem first. Validated customer pain points, clearer value propositions. These are some of the things that you have at hand when you are building, looking at the problem before building, instead of just building a solution and hoping that that solution will solve problems. Users will come. Steve Jobs might have done that. He might have gambled a lot, but Steve Jobs also lost a lot of money. But then their first product sold a lot. Within the first 3 years of Apple, when they launched Mac 1, they've made a lot of money. Steve Jobs, according to one of the early employees of Apple in his book, J. Elliott, he said Steve Jobs at age 25 had over $25 million in his account. Steve Wozniak had over $25 million. And the first investor, Mike Makula, also had over $25 million they've made from their about $500,000 investment. Not only that, Apple had $250 million in their account that is not part of their everyday expenditure, it's just saving. So Apple can afford to experiment. I remember one time they tried building their own hard disk. They spent over $20 million, spent about 2 years building it, and then nothing came out of it. They had to shut it down. Then Steve Jobs was the CTO, and because of that incidents and some of the gambling he made, it even cost him becoming the CEO. He tried to become the CEO, and the biggest investors were blocking him, including Makula. That was why Steve Jobs had to leave Apple for over 10 years to build Next computers, and then came back with the OS, which is known today as iOS. He built that from Next computer and then sold it to Apple and negotiated his way back to Apple, eventually becoming CEO. So it's very expensive. It cost him so much money, cost him his job, cost him 10 years of doing other things. Of course, there are gains from that, but it cost him so much before he could do that. So unless you are Apple with so much money to spend, so much money to experiment with, nobody will encourage you to go for a solution first approach. Everybody wants you to go for problem first, because at least we are narrowing things down to what is needed. What is the value proposition? What is the leanest part of this problem we can solve? When you're going for solution first, you have to build something grand, something amazing, something innovative, something groundbreaking before you could attract people. You have to build something better than whatever is in the market. When they built the iPod, for instance, there were other music players, there were cassette players, there were Discman or Walkman. So they had to build something more amazing for people to pay attention to it. That is what you have to do if you're going for solution first approach, right? Now, generative AI, before and after. Before generative AI, we were doing a lot of street research, what I call field research, of course. When you come up with an idea or you come up with something in your head, it could be a problem, it could be an idea of a solution. The first thing you do is that you go out there to research, field research, ask questions, do surveys, listen to people, talk to people, visit, go to huge events, talk with a lot of people just to hear their opinions, even stakeholders like people that could invest, bankers, people that probably you will need to collect API from if you are building this. Just speak with a whole lot of people, and then you come back and you analyze whatever results you have. Then you probably develop a prototype. Back then, as at 2015 to 2020, for instance, I remember I was at MEST 2019, 2020, and we did a whole lot of problem exploration, studies, design thinking around different ideas before we could come up with a specific idea that we pitched to investors and eventually raised pre-seed funding. That is Joovlin, and that was the company named when Joseph was reading my citation. He was talking about Joovlin. Yeah, that was the company. So we had to do a whole lot of research. Before then, I'd co-founded another company, and we weren't that vast in research at that point in time. We did a lot of it, but not as vast as I was when I was already trying to apply the real scientific methods and all the design thinking theories that I've learned over time. So it took a whole lot of time for you to validate your idea, validate this problem, or refine it to a point where you are thinking of building an MVP. You go back after all the interviews and everything, come up with something to build, do a prototype. Then it was a prototype that you have to design all the UIs by yourself, design all the screens. As a designer, probably you'll be designing 3 to 4 screens in a day. Some of these will take you up to 20, 30 screens. That's some weeks that you might spend designing prototype. Then you start connecting them. Then we're using something like Marvel or InVision Studio to connect these screens and then make them clickable prototypes, high fidelity, and then you take it out again for people to test and tell you if this is something they might want to put their money on before you even think of writing code. To write code again, you go back to the dark room for like maybe 3 months. 3 months is like released. Sometimes 6 months, 9 months, depending on what you're building, before you come out to the first iteration of the product for people to test. Then they go test it, you see what they don't like, you come back again, iterate and test again. It's a repeat process, right? Now, that was before the AI or generative AI advancement. Now, what has changed? The truth is, when it comes to how we build, the process of validating your idea, nothing has really changed. You still have to validate your idea. You need to come up with feedback. You still need to research. You need to refine. You need to prototype. You need to test. You need to build. However, the things that have changed is that there is speed in all of these. And besides speed, you can also get AI to help you in this process. Some of the things that you Google for days before you even start getting insights, AI can get it for you in seconds. I know the new generation that will come after now will not understand the pain of Googling stuff. Yeah, Google is there. We thought it was innovative and you can get everything you want, but there's still the pain of you Google stuff, you Google these things, and then you have to now read a whole bunch of things. You have to read a whole bunch of things before you even come to what you are looking for. Sometimes it takes you days to get exactly what you're looking for because you're Googling, you've not even found the keyword, the right keyword to use. Now you can tell AI, I'm looking for this, give me the right keyword. So AI is like that intelligent uncle, intelligent cousin that knows everything and gives you exactly what you want. So even when you're asking AI questions, it's not giving you what you want. You can tell it to teach you how to ask that question for it to give you what you want. So yeah, things have become faster. You are assisted with AI. So you do AI assisted discovery and ideation. You can prototype instantly. All the stuff we used to do, like I'm almost like a jack of all trades when it comes to the tech startup world. I write copies, I do branding, I designed logos and all of that. All the startup I founded, I designed the logo. I even designed for other startup. I do all the copywriting. I design the screens of this app. All of these things I did not study in school. I had to learn them because I did not have money to pay people. And even when you are looking for co-founders, it's not like you get co-founders with for every skill. So you are still improvising. At the most, you get one or two co-founders. Probably one is a marketer, one is a developer. The marketer might not know how to design his marketing flyers. Either you're waiting for him to learn or look for somebody, or you sit down and learn. So we have to learn everything, learn how to do this, learn how to do that. I can analyze, I can project, do financial projections. All of these I had to learn by myself. But with the age of AI, you can easily input your numbers, insights, and AI assistants, and just tell it to do financial projections in the standard of banks or in the standard of big companies like Google. So AI makes things faster. So you still have to start with the problem. You still have to analyze the problem. You still have to refine it. You still have to come up with an idea, then build and iterate. But AI helps you in all of this. So AI improves the parts. It does not replace the parts. Design thinking is a structure that we use a lot of the time to refine this process. It's a structured process that I think IDEO, a design company based in America, came up with these ideas in the early 90s or thereabouts. Since then, it has been refined a lot, or different versions of design thinking have been postulated and is being used everywhere. If you go online, you'll see different versions. But basically, what design thinking is talking about is that you empathize with the users. You be in their shoes, not sympathize with them. You go like you try to feel what they are feeling. If somebody tells you, "Oh, I just lost my parent," you don't try to feel the pain like you are the person that lost the parent, but you'll be like, "Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm here for you." You know, you empathize. So when you look at users and try to understand their pain point, what you do is empathize, try to be in their shoes, try to understand what they are feeling, how they are going through these pains. And then through that study, after empathizing, you start defining what the problem is, and then you start ideating what to do to solve the problem. And then you prototype, you test, you go back to refining again, right? This same design thinking process, there's another one called the double diamond. They are not much different. As a matter of fact, they are not different. They're just giving different names. Let's say different people. I think this came, the British Design Association or whatever came up with this, and it's still the same thing. They just say you diverge at the beginning and then you converge later. So what they are talking about is not different from this. At the empathy stage, you are diverging, as in opening up, going to different sets of people, trying to hear what they feel, right? Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, I hope I'm still audible.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. I just have to check because I can't trust this internet all the time, right? So just like empathizing, you are going wide, you are diverging, you are opening up to different people, test different users, ask different people questions. That's exactly what they mean by diverge. You go wide, learn as much as you can learn, like open-ended. Get as much information, go online, do desk research, wherever there's information, seek for it, and then you come back to define, you now converge, as you bring everything together. You reduce the spatial information to a smaller space, like you analyze all of these. This might not be the part of the scope of this. I would have shown you the design thinking method we use in doing this, where everybody sits down, brings out, there's a board somewhere, You can also do it online, like using Miro or using there are a bunch of tools that can help you do this. But the idea is there is a whiteboard somewhere and there's a bunch of sticky notes. So all of you write down what you heard or what you got from your research from the people about the problem. You just write it out. And then you start sorting them, analyzing them, putting them together. And then you group them. Like these problems, these ones are talking about this. These ones are talking about this. You kind of group all these things together. And then you start converging, like abstracting things. These are problems I can see. This is the pattern we are seeing. These are stuff. So you come together and you define the problem. So at the end of the converging session, the first converging session, you probably already have a defined problem. Now you are now thinking of solutions. So you start diverging again. That's the second diamond. We are now going wide again to look for different kind of solutions. So what can solve this for these people? What can solve this for these people? What can we do to solve this? After going wide and getting all the information, you also converge again to now the same thing you did there. You group all the possible solutions you've gotten, the solution ideas you've gotten. You try to find patterns. You try to see the ones that people favor the most, the ones people are more willing to pay for, and stuff like that. And then you choose one particular one. So you converge and then you come up with a solution. So you enter this double diamond process with a problem, you come out with a solution. Same thing with the direct design thinking process. You enter with ideation process, and then at the end you've prototype, tested, and then you come out with an MVP. So building now in the age of AI is still the same process, but you're going to need to use AI to soften some of these things that you do by yourself. Like all the hours you spend Googling stuff, reading materials, reading this, reading that. You can just use AI to do a deep dive and then get it to even analyze without you reading what it told you or what it brought out, or maybe you scan through and then you tell it to summarize and give you the key information from there. And then you move on. So all of this can be done within a few hours, something that would have taken you days to do. So that is where AI comes in. When it comes to prototyping, when it comes to streamlining your thoughts, all of these can be eased up with AI. But yes, it's still the same process of ideating or coming up with a problem, validating the problem, refining it, and then coming up with an idea, testing this idea, prototyping for people to test with, and then eventually come up with a solution, go to the market again and test, and keep repeating until you have a product market fit, right? So the focus of this workshop generally is to define a real problem, shape an MVP around it, build AI into your product roadmap, and then live with a clear product direction. We are not building AI features. I can teach you that. I can teach you how to use Figma to prototype right away. We'll do it, even upload it online, and it's already live as a maybe landing page, even clickable prototypes, and you can use that. I can teach you that, but I don't think that is the scope of this workshop. Somebody else in this workshop will either have taught you that or will teach you that very soon, right? So we are showing how to craft usable product experience powered by AI, not building features. AI integrated MVP thinking from problem to MVP. We start from user pain points. MVP simply means the simplest form of the product that is usable. AI is layered where it adds value to this MVP. And then the goal is for you to have usable, testable, valuable products as soon as possible. So like I've said earlier, AI doesn't replace MVP process, it enhances it. So what does an AI integrated MVP look like? The core function works without magic. It just works. AI handles one meaningful step. clear user flow. You have to have clear user workflow. Then a feedback loop for learning. The version 1 of AI will probably, the version 1 of an MVP that is integrated with AI will probably be an AI assist, not AI with everything. If you try to do everything with AI from the beginning, you might not go to market. And mind you, the goal here is speed. And if we're talking about going to market early before the advent of this generative AI as at 2020 or 2015, we're talking about founders going to market very fast. If you go to Y Combinator, you go to 500 startups, wherever you go, where they are teaching people how to build startups, everyone is emphasizing speed to market. And by then, speed to market was like 3 months, 6 weeks, 9 months, 6 months. So now that you have AI, everyone expects you to hit the market much faster. If you start trying to use AI to automate everything from the beginning, you might be spending 6 months, 3 months. And the speed at which AI is moving now, 6 months later, your solution might not be needed anymore. Someone probably has built something that is solving that, and everyone is going crazy. So besides the fact that AI helps you build things very fast, you also have to think of the other people in the space using AI. They are also moving very fast. So your first iteration has to be something very simple. So these are some of the AI use case triggers when for you to add AI, when you see that the task is repetitive user tasks, things that can be done over and over again. AI is good at automating those stuff or handling those stuff. Complex decision making, things like you need to calculate this data, check the accounting, do this and do that, and then come back to analyze and get results. Takes a whole lot of human effort. AI is good at crunching this down for you. If it's data heavy workflow, give it to AI. Slow manual steps, things that take human too much effort, too much steps. These are things that AI can do very well. Opportunities for smarter assistance, AI. So AI is strongest where humans waste time. Things that we do, we can do them. It's not like we can't do them, but it takes us a whole lot of time, a whole lot of effort. You need many skills. You need too many professionals. AI can do them. That's why very soon, a lot of consultants might not be needed, because what companies pay heavily for consultants to teach them, even though a lot of the consultants can't even do, but they know what to tell you. And their advice, of course, works very well. I can't deny the fact that their advice works very well most of the time, especially when you are running in a conventional setting. But the problem now is that working in conventional setting and giving advice for people working in that kind of setting is exactly the kind of things that AI can do very well. All the data, all the records they have kept over the years, all AI need to do is go in there, study everything, and start giving smarter advice. Because when, as a human, you give advice with data, you forget some, you remember some. AI might not forget any, right? So AI handles all of these things easily. As a matter of fact, OpenAI have launched a kind of a consulting solution costing about $10,000 per month subscription for huge organizations. So they do a lot of the consulting that you're supposed to hire consulting to do for you. Now they are selling consulting as an AI service. So yeah, whatever takes too many expertise, too many thinking, too many slow process or heavy data, AI can handle all of this. So you think of all these as you try to build an AI-powered product, or you try to form an AI strategy for your product or for your MVP, right? Stuff that might not be very nice for you to include AI. When there is no clear problem, AI can be a solution. Like, you have to find the problem. You cannot say, wow, I know how to make AI do this, do that. Then you think you have a wonderful product. No, AI by itself is useless. It is when you apply it to something that is when it becomes useful. So if you find a good problem, yeah, by all means, you can integrate AI. But when the problem is not clear, you don't know exactly who you are solving for, what you are solving, maybe AI is not what you need at this point in time, right? When there is no user pain point, still similar to the first one, you have not identified the problem, what pain users are facing. So what solution, what do you want AI to do for you now? Because you don't even know what pain is being felt for you to use AI to ease it up, right? You just want AI in it for the sake of AI. No, that's not it. A lot of people are doing that. If you go online, you see a lot of products. AI can do this, AI can do that. Yeah, but for who? For what purpose? You know? So you have to consider that. When AI adds complexity without value, sometimes you want to ease something, but you make it more complex without knowing. Sometimes you're adding AI to something, it makes it more complex, but you think because it's AI is fast, smart, and everything, it can make it easier. Let me give you a real life scenario of an experience we had as kids, right? When we were kids, we were hunting around the bushes around our compound, and we saw a bird's nest, all these small birds, right? And there were 3 eggs. And in our wisdom, we thought, well, these birds will come at night to sleep where this egg is, and they will come at night and catch these birds. Now, we also, at that time, just got introduced to a simple technology where you put some wire around the battery and a light bulb, and the light comes up. So in our minds, we're such wonderful technologists that we thought, okay, when we go there at night, the first thing to do is to put on this our innovative touch lights, put it on and shine the bird's eyes so that they get blind and they can't see. Then we catch them. That was our thought, right? And then we went and we did this. These birds were already sleeping. We could have just held them and caught them. But we went to shine lights on their eyes, and these birds woke up and they all flew away, and we could not catch any of them. We went back the next day and we saw that they've come back, they broke their eggs and sucked all the nutrients out of it and left that area. They never came back. We never saw them again. Now, that is example of we using technology to complicate things instead of simplifying it. You could have just got to that place, rounded them up, and took the whole nest. And as kids, we would have been heroes, like, wow, you've caught this wonderful bird, right? But no, we want to use technology to make things easier, and then we made it more complex, and we could not catch any of the birds that were there. So that's exactly the kind of ways that a lot of people use technology or use AI. Something that is already very simple, they think adding AI will make it more grand and more novel, and then they make it more difficult. No, don't do that. Don't use AI to add complexity to the solution. When a rule-based approach is faster and cleaner, just keep it that way. Forget AI for that scenario, right? So let's try some activities at this point in time, right? Let me see. Hello. The nature of this, my sharing, makes me not to know if people are still in this call or if I'm even talking to somebody. So at this point, I think we should evaluate and know, are we even communicating?
Yeah. You're absolutely here. I'm with you.
All right. All right. Amazing. Thank you, guys. All right. So at this point in time, it's a workshop, right? I'm not here to do all the talking. We are here to show you some steps and get you to also do one or two things, right? So before we proceed with that, let me ask, what kind of, maybe you guys should put your answers in the chat so that I will just see it, or the moderator can allow people to speak. What kind of skill sets do we have here? Are we developers? Are we product managers? Are we salespeople? We might also be from different fields, right? I would like us to just put it on the chat, or maybe anybody that wants to talk, the moderator should give them the space to say something. All right. So I'm waiting for your response. Okay, there's a front-end developer here. There's a designer, UI, UX, product manager, UI, UX designer, beginner, DevOps, backend engineer. Yeah, these are amazing skill sets. So I believe you guys are not complete novice, because I would have had to be defining ChatGPT. What is ChatGPT to some people? But with the kind of skills I see here, I don't think that is necessary, right? These guys can even teach me some things about AI. So yeah, that's amazing. Software developer, product manager, customer experience strategist. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, thank you, guys. So I want us to engage in some activities. As it is in the nature of a workshop, you have to also do some things. Not complex. We are not going to show you how to prototype the back end of a product or how to use AI agents to debug, right? Let's focus on the simple part, which is, of course, very necessary part also. Like, these are parts you shouldn't run away from if you want to build something amazing. That is refining your problem from the beginning and then making it worth solving. Like they say, no idea survives execution. When I first heard that, I was like, you mean no idea at all? But when you go deep into it, or you go deep into the startup building process, you work heavily in the startup world, you will now at some point realize that, man, no idea really survives execution. Why? Because from the day you came up with that idea to when you send it to market and then there is users, that idea would have passed through a number of changes. Either it would have changed completely, like unrecognizable, or it still look like a form of the first idea, but maybe one leg is no longer where it used to be and the hand has been moved to somewhere else. So no idea by itself just comes and wow, it's wonderful. Facebook is one of the companies that they launched and it blew up from first minutes. But the Facebook you know today is not the Facebook that Mark Zuckerberg launched in, is it 2004 or thereabouts, in the Harvard dorm room, right? Then it was a website, for instance. It wasn't even a web app. It was just a website. The company's name then was The Facebook. They've changed the name to Facebook. Idea has changed, right? Then poking was very, very important. I think recently they tried bringing back poking, but it's no longer, it didn't even catch up and it faded away. Then it didn't have something like your marital status. It was when Mark Zuckerberg was looking for a girlfriend and he didn't know if this girl has boyfriends or not. And then it came to him that let's go add that. So eventually he has added stuff to it, even though that is like one of the raw ideas that worked very well as he came up with it. Over time, changes has happened and Facebook has become something else, like a monster, right? So it is no longer what it was. So no idea survives execution. So that said, we need to refine our ideas. We need to refine whatever we have, whether it's a problem we have and looking for solution, or it's a solution we have trying to build problems from. Whichever one that we have, it needs refinement. And even though you already have a solution, you take it back to the problem, walk back to the beginning and try to walk through. Don't tie yourself to it. Don't be so attached to it that you'll be like, oh, this wonderful idea, nobody can shake it. No, you should shake it yourself. Look at it as a problem and then try to ask questions and be open to feedback. When we started building, when people tell us something negative about our product, we might even get annoyed and almost want to fight. Like, this thing I've been building for months. You know how wonderful this idea is. Do you know how innovative this is? You're telling me this thing shouldn't have been here. You know, but then we did not know that that is exactly what you need. That feedback, that negative comment, that passionate, angry guy. This app is the worst app in the world. I can never use it. Imagine, how can I want to log in and I'm not seeing the button? He has given you the feedback, he's not seeing the button. The other ones are not important. So when you deal with feedback, act like these customer service agents. When you call the likes of MTN, they first tell you this call is being recorded for quality assurance purposes. That is not the only reason why it's being recorded. It's being recorded for them to see if this person that they are paying this small money will come and spoil their entire business by insulting one of their big customers. Who knows who might be calling MTN? President might call, the governor might call, a commissioner, whoever, like influential people might call. And you as a customer service person will just get angry and insult them because they are giving you feedback. So that's why they record all of this. So because they record it, the customer service agents are like, no matter what you say, they're like, yes, sir, okay, sir, thank you. Oh, thank you for using our service. That is the attitude you should have when you receive feedback for your product. Never take it personal. Never be angry about it. Just listen and thank them for giving you the feedback. Try to get the goods out of it and then leave the excess one. So the guy that said, this is the worst app in the world, the most stupid people built this app. Why can't I find the button to log in? You leave all the stupid people, all the worst app in the world, and focus on why can't I find the button to log in? That is the feedback. This guy can't find button and is frustrated. So you don't worry about the chain reaction, you worry about the real problem, right? So let's go through a process of trying to refine what we have here. I'll go back to sharing my screen and probably put off my video so that we won't be using up the bandwidth so much and then eventually start having internet lags, right? All right, here we are. So whether it's our laptop we have here or a mobile device or even a sheet of paper, at least if we are connected to this call, we are on the internet. So you might want to open any of your go-to AI. We are not going very complex here. ChatGPT will do, Gemini, Cloud, whichever AI you use to do your everyday task, DeepSeek, whichever one, use it. It doesn't have to be one, right? Because we are here to do some real life things, not very complex things, simple things or things we might even overlook at times in the process of validating and refining our ideas. So let's get started. So let's try these activities. Your problem, your product problem. Write down the problem that your product or proposed product solves. What is that problem? Let's write it down. I would even like to be a part of this, right? So I'll write down a problem also myself. Let me open my ChatGPT and then, yeah. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see ChatGPT? So you see the way I'm writing mine. You to write yours. Like, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be elegant. You don't have to be a prompt engineer. Don't be shy. Don't say, oh, I'm a novice. I don't know how to write prompt. No, there is not knowing how to write prompt. As a matter of fact, if you don't know how to write prompt and you really need to write the right prompt, still state all your mind to the AI and then tell it to write a good prompt from what you've written, right? So let's refine our problems. So what kind of problems do we think of? You guys, if you have a real problem, deal with it, use it. If you don't have a real problem, come up with an hypothetical one. Let's just go through this process, right? So I'm looking at, okay, one problem I normally have is I go to work Monday to Friday, and then I come back over the weekend. I just want to rest. I don't want to go to the market to buy things. I don't want to go out to do shopping. So, but sometimes some things finish. I can wake up in the morning and I'm like, yeah, I want to fry some eggs this morning and just have breakfast, watch TV. And then I check. There's no egg or there's no oil to fry the egg that I have. You know, stuff like that. Things are finished. You want milk and you go to the fridge, no milk. You want to cook rice, there is no rice. You are having a bath, there's already water on your body, and then you realize soap is finished. So this is a problem. So I will just write it out and say, busy people have to check for, let's say, diminished stock. And you can see some error in spelling, it doesn't matter.
Let's just give our speakers some more time.
Hello. What's the
Yes,
question,
we can hear
please?
you now.
Okay, great. I wasn't saying anything. I was just typing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I was distracted. I just sent what I was typing. I wanted to add some parameters like all right. I hope everyone is also imputing their own problem in their favorite charts and trying to get a refined version of it. So my response here is that's the right mindset. Let's shape this into a refined startup style problem that would fit well in a pitch deck or startup accelerator, whatever, right? So raw problem insight from your note. Busy people forget to restock household essentials like detergents because they are occupied with work and other responsibilities. On weekends, they want to rest, not run errands. Refined startup style problem statement, concise and clear. Busy professionals struggle to keep track of household essentials and often realize they've run out of or only when they need them. This creates last minute stress and inconvenience shopping trips that disrupt their limited rest time. There are different ways this has been framed, but this is framed as a problem trio, great for early stage startup deck. Primary problem: people often forget to restock essential home supplies due to busy schedules. Consequence: they run out at inconvenient times, forcing last-minute store trips. Emotional impact: this disrupts rest and adds stress to already packed routine, right? So do we have our own problems already outlined this way?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So let's go back to my chart. Now, from my deck, the next thing is map the user workflow. List the steps the user takes today to solve this problem. Hint: keep it real, keep it messy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to look beautiful, right? Example is find info, compare, then decide, act, follow up. So now this is a real life scenario of the problem I've written. Checks for grocery. This is what a normal person would do in their house. Check for groceries that needs to refill, go to a dealer store, select items needed, put in carts, pay for items, take them home, right? But we can also tell the AI to map the user workflow. So let's try that. So let's type it in our own AI also. Tell it to map this workflow. So in design thinking, this is what we call the as-is scenario. This is exactly how the person or the target user, the person having the problem, this is exactly how their life is right now. This is how things are for them. That's why it's called the as-is scenario or the as-is user journey. So it starts from realization or problem recognition. Trigger: they run out of essential items. Context: often happens right before use, e.g., about to go to do laundry, about to cook or brush teeth, you realize things are finished, right? The pain point, it's usually inconvenient timing, early in the morning, late at night, or during the weekend when you're supposed to be resting. Then mental or written reminder, they make a mental notes. I need to buy detergent, or quickly add it to a list note or fridge list or whatever. The pain point, they might forget the list isn't centralized or updated in real time. And that's real talk, because sometimes I write these things down, but in different places. And then when I need to buy, I don't see all the lists. Sometimes I see some of the items are written in a different place after I've gone for shopping, right? Now, they also have to plan the shopping trips. They have to travel to the store wherever it is. Shopping in the store, I'm not reading all of the items because of time. Payment and then return home, restocking. So summary of pain point is realize item is out, always happens at inconvenient time. Then remember, try to remember, plan to store trip, travel, shop, check out, restock. Insights, this workflow is reactive. Users only act after running out of something. There is no automated monitoring, predicting, restocking, or hassle-free replenishment built into their routine. That's your startup opportunity. So here, AI has helped me refine this problem that I probably would have spent a whole lot of time trying to map out, doing a whole lot of studies, going out to ask questions before I get it, right? Now, in order to even start thinking about doing this, you now come back to where is the friction points in all of these. You try to drill down, right? The whole idea of converging is to drill down. So find the AI opportunities. Spot one step where AI helps. Ask questions that lead you to discovering those areas. Possible prompts you can use is, where is the manual effort? Where does the user think hard? Where is their repetition? Where is speed or accuracy crucial? Where are the friction points? Generally, all you're asking is, where are their friction points? So you should try to highlight just one step. Don't overbuild. It's called MVP for a reason, right? It's minimum viable product. So your target is to find the most important parts that needs fixing and fix it. What parts in that whole user journey or the entire problem that if you solve this for the user, they will feel relieved and they will pay you for it. That's what you should be looking for. So we should ask questions that lead us to that. Things like, where is the manual effort? Where is the friction point? So let's go there. Now, in all of these, we are drilling down to the most important part, which is the friction part. Current manual flow, realization, notices detergents and groceries are finished. Manual awareness, pain point on a pain level 1 to 5. This one is 4. Manual tracking, 3. Manual decision requires planning and timing, so it's 3. Then physical movement, having to travel to the store, that's 4. So you go through all of these, and then the key insight is where the manual effort is throughout the process, but basically in stock monitoring, which is step 1, noticing what's out. Then lists management, remembering and tracking needs. Then procurement, actually going out to buy them, right? These are non-automated, repetitive, and time-consuming. So where the friction point is, the friction point or the friction is where the user has to disrupt their normal flow of life to solve the problem. Step 1, realizing you've run out right when you need it. This 4th step, traveling to the store, trying to get the item. So this is where the AI has identified that they are the biggest pain point. And now, when you're using AI, doesn't mean you will take all what they said. Now, for this, I think it made a whole lot of sense. These are the 2 parts where the person worries the most, realizing you are out. If you knew you were out of these items, you would have bought them, because it doesn't seem like money is the problem here. It seems like remembering you have to buy something, that's the problem. You probably would have bought it. The second part is, because this always happens when you need it, you will not have to go out at the time when you don't want to go out, right? The most painful points in this whole process, when the user realizes they are out right before they are using the item. That is when where AI has mentioned, right? So why this is the core problem? Because everything else, shopping, travel, flows from the single moment of realization. Like if you have realized before, you probably won't be needing it now, because you would have bought it on your way home, right? So let's say from this point, we should move to ask the AI, are there even competitors for this? With the speed of prototyping or building the first version these days, that doesn't require a whole lot of days and weeks and effort. A lot of people at this point might just go straight to building something, maybe a clickable prototype, and then send it to people to start testing. But here we are here to draw a roadmap for how we will integrate AI into our product. So we are not rushing to build a prototype. We are trying to drill down to it. So let's say something like, who are the competitors who are already using this? Who are the people that already have this product in the market, right? Let's even ask it that. So as I'm saying these things, you guys should also be typing it and also asking the AI to tell you. So now I say, show me some real life examples of where similar solutions exist. Who has used this? Who is the competitor? Tell it, give me real names, verified facts, list the companies and founders give brief descriptions. So basically, I'm telling this AI to also do a research for me, right? And help me find if this has already been built in whatever format, because I've not even thought of how I want to build this, right? I'm still looking at it from a problem point of view. But let's see if there are people already solving this. And it's going all the way to the internet to search and check for whoever is building this. So while ChatGPT is on it, I think we can come back here and hear from you guys how this is going. So how are we doing in this process? What and what have we done? Are we following along, or is this too boring? Moderator, let's hear from them. If you have something to say, let's see your hands up. Question.
Yes, you can hands up and unmute when you're called on.
Okay, I think Mohammed has something to say. Nimota, right? Or let's allow her to speak, please. Mr. Moderator, please allow.
Yes, but sure, you can unmute your mic. You can unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
very
afternoon.
much for the session so far. It's been helpful. So while following up your prompt and stuff, sir, on the workflow part, I didn't get the same result as you. Rather,
Okay.
I was getting results for the interface workflow, how the user is going to navigate the products I'm building, rather than the results you
Okay.
get. I don't know if it's a prompt issue or it's just the algorithm.
Okay. The problem with AI is that sometimes it might not think of it as you're thinking of it, right? So just the way you've asked me this question and you expect me to, let's say, give you a related solution, treat AI that way when you're dealing with it. Like, correct it, tell it, well, I'm looking at this from the angle of problem exploration. I'm trying to refine my problem. I'm trying to build this as a startup idea. You know, just give it some background information. It will redirect itself. I'm looking at this so that I can pitch it to investors. I'm looking at just anything that redirects it to where you are going. Just let it know, and then it will correct itself. Sometimes I just went straight to type in this, right? And because I've been doing a lot of startup or company related things in my computer, it's easy for it to think in my direction. But a lot of the time I'll have to prime it first. Like right now, you are like my startup co-founder, and we are brainstorming on a new idea that we're going to work on. This idea is tech related. We hope to use AI. We hope to do this. We hope to do that. Now we are at the problem stage. You have not even thought of solution. So we are trying to refine our problem. You prime it with this information. You even tell it, don't say anything yet. I'm still writing. I'm still giving you background. When I finish giving you background, I tell you, and then you can write. Because it's AI. Once you type, it's like, it's a chatbot, but it's like a human. If it's a human, of course, there are some things you will send me. I know I shouldn't reply first. It's like you are still articulating your thoughts. You have not fully given me a response, right? But AI, it just want to reply you every time you send it a message. So you have to tell it to wait, because sometimes you even forget. You're still typing and you have some things in mind you need to add. You've not added it. You've pressed send, or you wanted to say shift and you mistakenly type send instead, right? But when you prime it that way, it's waiting. It's even telling you So you've given me the information. I'm still waiting for the upload. I'm still waiting for the information you said you send. So you try to put it in that mood. Try to put it where you're going so that it will understand you, right? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. So Tolu Lokwe, let's hear from you. You have your hand up.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you
Yeah, good
for
afternoon.
the explanation so far. So, I'm actually on two of this workshop, another one on my mobile. I took my eyes off after you shared the first prompt, where we just wrote the problem we are looking to build a product for. But the second prompt, I missed it, and I don't know if it's possible for you to share that in the chat so that for those who are like late joiners, we can still catch up on what we missed. Please.
Okay. When I share my, and once we finish this workshop, I'll also share the slide with the organizers so that they can share it if they have to share it, right? But as for your question, you missed that page. So once I share my screen again, I'll go back and then I will point out that page so that you can get what you missed there. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So any more questions?
And the recording will also be available at the end of the workshops by next week or so. We'll try to see if we can make the recordings available.
Yeah, super. That's nice. All right. So any more questions? If you have something to ask or say, you can raise your hands up. Okay, so it seems we are good here. So let's proceed with where we left off. All right, so okay, let me go back to my slide so that Tolulope can see what she missed. Okay, so the first question was your product problem. I think you said you got that, if I'm not mistaken. Then the second one was map the user flow. So you can look at it, list the steps your user takes today to solve the problem. That's the as is scenario or as is user journey. Currently, this is what they do. This is how they solve it. If you're trying to build a payment solution, how does those people pay at this time before your solution came? So that is what this is basically. This is what this basically is. Tell us or write out how the target user of this, the target person that is facing this problem, how they currently solve this problem. What and what do they do? Like I was explaining, or right here, is still there, that if they run out of groceries at the wrong time, they check for groceries and the check for groceries that needs to be refilled, goes to the last store, select items needed, put it in cart, pay for the item, and then take them home. That's how they solve this at the moment, right? ChatGPT, of course, gave us more details into that, but basically, this is the long and short of it. So I think this is the one you missed. Then the next step is sports steps where AI can help. So the friction points, that's what we mean here. Ask questions that lead you to discovering where the friction points are. What is the manual effort? Where does the user think hard before they solve their problem on the normal day? Where is this thing repetitive? Where is the speed or accuracy crucial? So these are some of the questions you'll be asking. Then you define your MVP. We've not got into this part. I think this is where we are at the moment, to define the MVP. But before we start defining the MVP, I want us to look at what my own AI told me, because I asked it to show me some example of people already doing this. And they said Procter and Gamble, which is a very huge medicine manufacturer. Procter and Gamble. Direct subscription, auto-replenish, corporate brand, flagship laundry brand. What they built. P&G has experimented with direct-to-consumer subscription services like Tide Wash Club for Tide Pods, and also sells Tide formula made for auto dispense machines. So what they do, these are examples of CPG brands moving into subscription and device link replacement. Competitive note, brand-owned subscriptions plus device integration, showing big CPGs can own the refill experience. So what this is telling us is that P&G, Procter and Gamble, has built direct-to-consumer products that you just order for it and then they'll be bringing it to your house. So just like most people place subscriptions on items like newspapers, and then every day they receive newspapers while they pay at the end of the month, Procter and Gamble have tried to build something like this into some of their products, like their washing machine and clothes washing detergents. They are trying to get people to subscribe. So that is one solution. Then who else? Amazon products. Amazon's Dash experiments and Dash replenishment service lets connected devices or single press buttons reorder when supplies run out. Amazon also popularized subscribe and save for recurrent delivery of household items. Competitive note, platform plus marketplace advantage. Amazon combines frictionless ordering with massive distribution, showing the value of low friction plus scale, right? Then, so there are so many of them that he has pointed out. This one is Grove Collaborative, who is the founder, founded as ePantry in 2012 by Strauss, Chris, and Jordan. What they built, direct-to-consumer subscription stroke e-commerce for household and personal care essentials, right? Competitive notes, category focus subscription plus brand curation, a good model for high LTV customers, and that's lifetime value customers, and bundled replenishment. So customers with high lifetime value, customers that stay for longer time, that this is good for them. Then delivery, Instacart, GoPuff, subscription direct to consumer pioneers that prove this model. Dollar Shave Club, quick synthesis, brand owned subscriptions, P&G and Tide solve replenishment but risks locking customer to one brand. Device platforms, auto reorder. Amazon integrates at the device level to trigger order automatically. Technically elegant, but needs device partnership. On-demand commerce, Instacart, GoPuff removes the time cost of shopping immediately, but typically lack the predictive restocking intelligence. Direct-to-consumer subscription pioneers, Dollar Shave Club provided consumer will proved consumer willingness to pay for convenience and recurring replenishments. Great case study for unit economics and retention. So all of these, it might take a lot of time to start reading about all of this is talking about the angles at which other competitors or other people have tried to solve this problem. So this helps you tailor your problem to one where they are not solving. Now, in a real research situation, you are going to go deeper. Like normally, if I'm building this as a startup idea, I see all of this. I'm going to drill down. I'm going to find everything Amazon have done in this, everything that P&G have done, and all of it, and then read and understand so that I can segment very well. I can focus on a unique value proposition, a value proposition that is different from what all of them are providing, right? If I'm also going to do what they are doing, I will also know how to segment my market. Like maybe they are targeting billionaires, I can target millionaires. So that's exactly what all of this research and all of this refinement does for you, so that by the time you're going out to build, you are no longer building blindly, hoping people will come. You are looking at what is in the market, looking at the fact that if Amazon and all these giants have tried building stuff like this, that gives you hope that there is a market for it. But then you try to target. The problems that Americans have is not what Nigerians have. Americans might want to order for goods online automatically. Does a Nigerian want an e-commerce store to keep taking the money from their bank account directly without telling them? So you try to understand, you try to localize this problem to where you are living and the customers that are in that area you hope to sell this product to, right? So that's it for refining. That's not saying that's all the refining or all the research you need to do, but that's all we will be doing when it comes to refining this for this workshop because of limited time that we have, right? So the next step, yeah, I got something like, hold on. Yeah, is someone saying something? Okay, if there's nobody saying anything, let's go back to sharing our screen. All right, so now we were at we mapped the user flow, then spot one step where AI helps. We've also done that. Now we want to define our MVP. Define your MVP. Something like my MVP helps in bracket what kind of user, who are the kind of user you're targeting, put it where this bracket is. It helps so and so user do so and so what core tasks. What is the task your MVP will be doing? Put it here. Then so they solve what? You can as well just write this format and tell ChatGPT to fill it up based on what you have been chatting with ChatGPT or any AI you are using. It should fill this up from the details it already has from your problem, from the refinement and everything that it has been doing, right? So I put this here. Is it there? This seems to be, oh, let me see. Okay, so my last passage was empty. Well, let's see. So let's get back to it. Say, what is this we should do? Define your MVP. So I give it this information or format, then is it perfect? You're not thinking like a founder. You want an MVP, minimum viable product statement that clearly defines who it helps, what it helps them do, and what problem it solves. Let's use your idea context. Busy professionals who forget to restock essentials like detergent and shape a few strong opinions you can refine further, right? So MVP statement templates. This is a template. Now, example for your concept, base MVP. My app helps busy professionals track household essentials and get timely refill reminders so they can avoid running out of items like detergent and washing and wasting weekend on last minute shopping trips. Simple, functional, easy to test with a prototype. That's what it said. And predictive, smart version. My app helps busy household and professionals automatically predict when supplies will run out or run low and schedule refill or delivery so they can save time, avoid stress, and never run out. So these are different ways it has done it. Internet of Things or smart home version. My app helps smart home users monitor and auto order household supplies through connected devices so they can maintain a stocked home without manual tracking or shopping. So what this is saying is that you might have to have something like smart cupboard or smart fridge where it tracks these items. Once it finishes, it probably just orders it online. The item comes and then you are restocked. The predictive style is saying it will take note of what you have been ordering and then it will predict when it will finish and remind you. The base MVP is just saying that it will help you build an app that will help you, like my app helps professionals track household essentials. So it will help you track. Maybe you have to be inputting data. I bought 10, I use one a day and stuff like that, whatever. But there are different ideas that this AI is giving you. Now, in real life, where there is no AI, like 2015, 2017, it will take you weeks, if not months, to come up with ideas like this alone. Like showing this to, let's say, your investor or mentor in 2017, they will say, wow, this is one of the best founders we have under our umbrella, because I don't think anyone on their own will articulate things so nicely, but yet you get this easily now. So we have to utilize it. That is where AI comes in to help you refine these things fast enough and get results and then get to work, right?
Yeah.
So,
I Kingsley, just to quickly note that we have less than 10 minutes to close up.
okay, I'm rounding up.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so how do you add AI after you defined your MVP? How do you add AI to your roadmap? You have to phase it, right? You have to phase it. You shouldn't, because you're trying to build a minimum viable product. There's a whole lot of wonderful things that AI can help me do in that problem that I stated. But if I try to do all of them, maybe 1 year or 1 year and 6 months from now, I might not come out with a product. So you phase it. Phase one, you might start with a manual process with user validation. Phase two, you might add an AI assist. It will suggest, it will guide. Then by phase three, you are probably already automating the whole process and then using your learning loop to get things further, right? So I would have said, let's experiment this. But at this point in time, I think we already know how to input all of these into AI and then get it to draw out our roadmap. So after you've decided how to break this down into how you will achieve all of these, you now start to create a timeline for achieving all of these. So from the manual plus user validation aspects, you might put a time to it, like, okay, between now and the next 2 weeks, I want to get out the manual part out. Between 2 weeks and maybe 4 weeks, I have to get the AI assist aspect out first. Then by the end of maybe 1 year, we should have everything automated. Just like that, it doesn't have to follow that timeline. I'm just using it as an example. And your roadmap is a flexible living document, open to modifications in line with market realities, user feedback, and new innovations, and so on. You don't say, yeah, I've built this roadmap, I have to follow it. No. Yes, it's good to follow it, but if changes come, keep researching, keep your eyes open, keep checking what is happening. If changes come, also change it. Don't be so emotionally tied to whatever you've come up with that you're already doing. You came up with it, you can change it. And if you think it's difficult, once you sit down and brainstorm, you come up with something else again. So be flexible with your roadmap and keep making changes. I think that is it for the activities. As a final note, build AI gradually. This is advice, but it's not the only way to go. You can come all the way and say, yes, I'm coming with AI, I'm building everything with AI. But that is, again, when you have a lot of money or when you're building very innovative. I don't know your level of expertise. I don't know your level of capabilities, right? So I can't stop you or tell you what not to build. But if you are one of us as a human being that needs investors to invest in your startup, that needs customers to pay for what you have so that you can have a better runway, you don't have infinite amount of capital waiting for you somewhere, then do these things gradually so that you hit the market fast, validate fast, start earning revenue before you start adding more and more features. So you phase it, right? Start manual, add assist, automate over time, always collect user feedback, because reality is always more than the hype, right? So why this works is that you ship faster, like I already said. Real users, you have real users, you are learning from them very early. You waste time on fewer features, and waste of resources is reduced. AI guided by real use, no imagination. So that is what you get when you follow this process. I guess we have no more time, and I also have come to the end of this. So in closing, let's focus on MVPs that solve real problems using AI to make user flow smoother. Don't just throw in AI for AI's sake. That's what I would say. At the end of the day, it's about usability first, then AI can come second. But of course, focus on value always. That's what I'll tell you. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you for listening. I think at this point, we should hand over back to the moderator and also take your questions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Definitely. Thank you so much for the lectures and everything for the workshop. Do we have questions before we go? We still have we have another workshop by exactly 3. So we still have like 5 minutes to take at least one or two questions before we move to the next workshop. So yeah, please signify by raising your hand and we will take your question. In the absence of anyone, you can still write to us and we're able to forward your question to Mr. Kingsley and be able to still get a response. The slides also will be provided via email to everyone. We just want to say a big thank you for this section. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for staying to the end. Hopefully this would really impact your career and help you take off. Thank you,
Yeah, before
everyone.
we go, I would encourage everyone to put on their camera. Let's at least take a screenshot of us as
Yeah.
participants, right?
Yes, please.
So please, guys, let's have our cameras on,
Let's have
please.
a
Yeah, including you. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm still waiting for you to put on your cameras. Wonderful, wonderful.
Let's take a screenshot together.
Yes, Elizabeth. We also want your camera. Sophia. What? Okay. You guys can also take the screenshots. It's necessary. We all have records, and remember your amazing faces. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for the amazing.
I'm excited to see the amazing women in tech this time. So this is really
Yeah,
encouraging.
yeah. I think
You showed up. You showed up.
That the fact that women showed up at this number is encouraging. We love that because
I'm telling
women
you.
intelligent and they've done so much in the tech space that you can't even doubt their capabilities. So the fact that more women are coming in is amazing. I appreciate you guys and I encourage you to keep doing tech. Yeah, do have a lovely day and I wish you all the best in the hackathon and every other things you do in life. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good luck in the hackathon. Hope to see one of you at least in the top.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.